episode. All Rell Good here in the Crawford Podcasting Network with my high wire act, my longtime podcast partner, Richard Rellford out of Riviera Beach, Florida. And Rich, look who we have in the box below. Number 24 out of Fairfax High School in Los Angeles. Sean Higgins is with national champion Sean Higgins. Welcome, Sean.
Thanks, Tom. I'm glad to be here, Rich.
Well, Sean, we got, it's always good to have you, man. I enjoy it when I got my Michigan brothers on here.
What's this about? This is like my fourth or fifth time, isn't it?
You have, yeah, and you always bring it. I saw you on Timmy Mack's podcast. You did a great job on my.
You sure did.
Podcast.
Hey Tom, when you reached out to me yesterday, I said he must have saw me on Tim's podcast.
Tim sends them to me. He sends
I know
you
were still alive. Yeah, when you're still.
Yeah.
Tell our listeners what you're doing out in Vegas. I think they'd be interested.
Oh man, I'm just out here, man, trying to stay healthy for one. But no, man, I actually the past 2 months, man, I went out and got an AI consulting cert, man. I'm in the AI right now, man, with my partners. They have actually these guys went to Michigan, man. They're up in Silicon Valley, and so I went and got my AI consulting cert just so I would know the business. And so we're partnering right now, man, building the agency.
Wow, look,
that's awesome.
He's using that U of M intelligence.
There you go.
That's right.
That's right, babe.
That's good. And you're also, you got your 9-star basketball camp.
Yeah, I'm always do my basketball stuff, fellas. You know, that's just I'm a gatekeeper. We both are, Rich.
Yep.
I'm a gatekeeper of the game, man. So I'm always give back to the game in some capacity. So I'm always gonna keep my camps going and in my youth leagues.
Well, that's what Rich does all the time. That's
we love working with the kids, man. It's our job to give back and to help as many as we can, man.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, speaking of kids, there's some pretty good kids on this Michigan basketball team right now on the threshold of the Sweet 16. I'm heading on a train to Chicago tomorrow. I'm going to go see shoot around, get some video, and be there at United Center when the Wolverines take on Alabama, and they love to shoot threes. Sean Higgins could relate to that. He liked to shoot threes. What does Alabama bring to the table that scares you?
Their defense and their guard play.
Yeah.
You know, Alabama, man, they're relentless, man. They're a real scrappy team.
They're handsy. They
very handsy, scrappy. They have a calculating coach in Nate Oates.
Yeah.
I forget the one kid. I think Williams, the kid with the braids.
With the braids.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Yeah.
He is.
And so I know we were talking before we went live. Alabama, man, we got to focus on Alabama.
No shit. Yeah.
We got to focus on Alabama. It's not going to be an easy ride. I mean, we have the tools and the personnel, but we got to come to play.
Yeah.
We got to come to play, and Alabama real athletic.
Right, and real athletic. Hey, Rich, let me tell you what I noticed about when I watched them the other night.
What's that?
Is all 5 of their guys go to the boards.
Yes, Sean. Yes, they do. They all crash, and that's gonna be my thing, man. As long as we're rebounding and if we're hitting threes, we're really tough to beat.
But you know what? If they all crash, anybody else is all crash. Michigan's run up on get the ball. Amara gets it out, and boom.
We're down the floor. That's one thing.
That's the thing. So they got to be Alabama. They might have to send a couple guys back.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Listen, fellas, y'all know it's going. It's the tournament time. It's Sweet 16. It ain't gonna be easy. No way.
Everybody's good right now.
Everybody's good.
Yes.
Anybody can beat you.
That's right.
And I'm taking Sean's advice here: not get over our skis and not think this is a W. But it would be so ironic and fitting if Illinois and Michigan played in the semifinals, which they could.
They could.
And all I do is I think of that game. I think of the putback. I mean, Mills on a long shot miss and Sean Higgins with a putback.
With the putback. I remember that.
And the Wolverines win. Yep. You think about that moment, Sean, a lot?
Well, man, I reflect on it during this time of year for sure.
Yeah, I bet you do. Yeah. So
listen, we're having a lot of fun, man. Everybody always asks me now every time I go somewhere about how we feel about the Michigan basketball team. And I tell them, they laugh, Tom, because they say now Michigan is a basketball school. Yeah. We're football school on their basketball. So I have to always reiterate to them, no matter how many, we can win 2-3 national championships. It's going to always be a football school.
Yeah.
That's just the way
always. I mean, that's just the nostalgia and the brand.
There you go. It's the brand,
Yeah.
baby. That's how I go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sean, I want to ask you about Yaxel Lindenberg. It seemed like sometimes he doesn't push the go button and kind of lets the game come to him. He's got so much freaking talent. And boy, against St. Louis, he pushed the button and took the game over. Would you obviously like to see more of that out of Yax?
Yeah, man, that's the only issue I have with young fella, man, is that he needs to be more consistent in hunting the basketball.
Yes.
You know, I always talk about Glenn Rice when I first got to Michigan. He taught me how to hunt the ball because when I was in high school, I always had the ball in my hand.
Okay.
And so when I got to Michigan, you know, Rice was good coming off screens. He was good moving without the ball. And the best basketball players are those that can play without the ball in their hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I wish Lindenberg would be more consistent and aggressive in terms of hunting the basketball because he's the alpha dog on that team.
Yeah.
And so he has to be more assertive, especially as we get deeper in the tournament as we are now. He has to become more assertive offensively and take over games at times like he did the other night against St. Louis.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Rich, you've been a Mara fan from day one.
Yes.
Made that transfer from UCLA, and boy, he has some blocks, and his ability, his assist ability is crazy. To find guys, he's so long, but those outlet passes, and then how about when Yax threw him a 3/4 court, and he had a reverse dunk?
Reverse dunk.
Wow! I mean, that was crazy.
I say Tom because I watch NBA games and I hear him talk about Wemby, and they say he's a unicorn. Well, I tell everyone, DeMar is a unicorn as well.
Yeah.
Because at 7'3" and pass the way he does, and I call his plays when he get the ball on the post. I'll say to him, looking at the TV, back him down. And when he backing you down, I need people to cut because if you cut, he gonna hit you. He passes right at you, and so I think he's a big difference because now the game that I just finished watching. If you're going down the paint, you're going to throw a high floater because you ain't going to just get an easy layup because
he changes shots too.
He changes shots, man. And that's why I think defense win championships.
That's right.
And we play great D.
Let me ask something about Mara, man. When he was at UCLA, this what I knew he had something offensively, man. Kareem was at Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was at the game sitting up on the basket.
Yep.
He made Kareem shimmy one time. He threw his little hook shot.
Okay.
He made Kareem. If you can make Cap get emotions out of Cap,
that's right.
You got something.
You got something. I agree.
And Adam Mara, he has a left hand hook and a right hand hook.
Right hand. He sure does. He sure does.
He does it both hands. Guys, I want to ask both of you about. I think a guy that is critical in this game this weekend is Morez Johnson Jr. because Morez in Chicago at the Big Ten tournament, he kind of just faded away.
Yes.
He didn't look for the ball. But then he ramped things up. But man, that guy's got raw talent, Sean. And
he really does.
What do you want to see him do more?
Well, I think he has to get more focused.
Okay.
Because you see him doing the press conferences and the after game interviews, and I know he's a kid, but he has to focus more, man, and stay on top of his game like he was in the beginning of the season. He was a beast in the beginning of the season.
Yes.
And so if he can get back to that focus, man, I mean, this kid has a chance at the next level, if you ask me.
He does.
And so I really think that, outside of Yaxel and Mara, he's really a staple. He's one of our he's bread and butter, man. Mm-hmm. And so he has to get back focused and start dominating that paint a lot more than he did, these last couple games.
Yeah.
I feel the same about him. I feel when he, because I call him a double kid. He's a double guy. He's gonna get you.
He's had
10 rebounds. And I feel if he can play at the level that he played at during the beginning of the year, he has a chance to be a lottery pick.
Yeah.
Because at 6'9" and play like he played, and we all know he don't take a lot of them, but he'll shoot the three.
Well, I want to ask you about that because, I mean that's how you have to shoot the three to play in the NBA, right?
Yes.
Right.
You think some of these kids are thinking, God, I got to use that. I have to have that in my repertoire. or I'm not
Listen,
going next level.
he can shoot three, and so is Mara. Mara shoots three.
Well,
both
yeah,
of them.
I know, but I mean, he's better suited to be down low. But
he
took a few opens at St. Louis. He was like a few feet above beyond the arc, and he's wide open, and he took it. And that's not his strong suit. But
no, that's not a strong suit.
Develop that. He's got to develop that.
You have to listen. The NBA is all that. You see all the big guys like Joker shooting threes.
Hit.
Wamby 7'4", he's shooting threes.
Yeah.
You know, so
you know what I like about Mars' potential at the next level, though. He can get out and defend pick and roll.
There you go, Sean. That's one of the things I like about him, because now when he defends the pick and roll, you're not going to the basket, you're going out.
Yeah, he can move his feet for being a 7-footer.
That's exactly right. That's one of the things.
And so can Johnson.
Yeah. Morez he does the same. Listen, we got a good team because Dusty made them fit together. You know, I believe in the tournament, and I've heard it several times. Guard play is the most important thing in NCAA in the tournament.
Absolutely.
Because your point guard is going to dictate everything. That's why we talked earlier, Tom, about A-Cup. That's why he's so tough, because Arkansas is tough because of the point guard position. Yeah. I have nothing but confidence in Elliott. I think Cadeau has the skills, and he shoots that little floater like Simpson did to me.
Yeah. Well,
he's a tough nosed player, and I'm glad he's coming back. And you know, one of my favorites is definitely Trey McKenna. I enjoy watching Trey play, and since Kasem has went down, I'm happy he's getting his opportunity.
Yeah, he's playing that combo guard now. He's planning to play. I want to go back to Elliott. Jamal Mashburn mentioned a couple times that he's the straw. No matter, he's not the best player on the team, but he might be the most vital player on the team. And Sean Higgins, I mean, with Elliott this year, there's been a lot of times he's had great games, bad game, or average game. Great game. I mean, he doesn't have two bad games in a row.
No.
But he rarely has two good games in a row. It's like, what would you like to see out of him, Sean?
Well, I think Cadeau, man, he has to stay out of foul trouble.
Yeah.
Because we lost Kasem. So that's my concern with Alabama this Friday. Mm-hmm. You know, is keeping Cadeau on the floor, and then with Dusty managing his minutes. So he's able to manage his minutes with Trey McKinney a little bit and run the point by committee. But I would like to see him attack the basket a little more. You know, his jump shots been, you know, off and on, but he hits big shots though. Now that's something that I noticed about him. He might miss two, but he'll hit a third one, and that'll be the straw that broke the camel's back.
I agree.
And so Cadeau is fine. I just want him to, you know, his minutes and his conditioning has to be managed. So he doesn't get tired, because Alabama's going to be coming at us.
Yeah.
You know, they go with the 3-guard front.
Yep.
And so he's going to have his hands full Friday.
Yes, he is. I got to say, we're going to need everybody, man.
Yeah, St. Louis had 4 guards and a forward. You know,
right. They did.
You know, I mean, there's all these crazy combinations. It's non-traditional basketball. But, Sean, how about Namari Burnett is kind of like that name that is floating out. I mean, if Michigan gets rebounds and gets that outlet, you know, Namari goes down there and pitches his tent down there on the wing, and he's ready for it. And he's got that long, you know, that slow launching thing. But man, he hits that.
I call him set shot Buford, Tom.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I mean, it's like in slow motion.
He's shooting set shot.
He's shooting a set shot. But hey, I'm looking for Barnett to have a good game. This is his former team.
Yes.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? And the other one was Texas Tech, who Bama beat. He was
exactly.
Play. Yeah, I mean, it's nuts on how that goes. But I think staying out of foul trouble, instead of a 9-man rotation, Rich, it's 8-man.
Yes.
So they're, you know, so now Elliott, instead of playing 28 minutes, playing 32. Yax is playing 36, maybe instead of 32. How many minutes did you play, Rich?
Oof.
Average. What do you think? Take a guess.
28, 30.
You're even your senior. Now, Sean, you know, your junior year, you won national championship. What were you in the 28, 26?
No, that was my sophomore year. We won the championship. I averaged about 22 minutes a game my sophomore year, and about 28 my junior year.
Yeah, 28 your junior year. So in in that 22 minutes, you hit a bunch of threes against Virginia. Down, I remember.
Well, I only
remember
played
that.
20 minutes that game off the bench.
Yeah, yeah. He was a point a minute plus in that game, was Sean Higgins. Sweet 16 is a really crucial time, I think, because then if you win that, you're only one step away from the Final Four. And I was at Rupp Arena, Sean, when you beat North Carolina. And that game when you beat in 1989, don't you think that was the game? Don't you think that was the national title against J.R. Reed and those guys?
Yeah, man. That was the pinnacle right there, because before I got to Michigan, man, they had lost to North Carolina 2 years prior to that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was our nemesis basically in the NCAAs.
Right, they were.
And so once we got past North Carolina, we knew we had a chance.
Yeah.
That's the reason why we blew Virginia out the way we did, because we got that monkey off our back.
You sure did.
That is. So it's a psychological thing as much as anything.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you and Glenn Rice were just freaking firing that ball. Rich was overseas, seen from a distance, right, Rich?
And not only that, cheering my butt off, because we had guys that went to Georgia, Clemson, different places in college in America. And listen, me, me and Roy was talking so much smack, because Roy Tarpley was over there with me.
Yeah.
And
I played with Roy in Russia.
Right. Oh yeah. I heard you play with Tarpley in Russia. Listen, man, Roy was a beast. Roy was a beast.
Oh, he was a beast.
And nobody couldn't do nothing with him. And so we always talked about it, man. I wish Tarp would have been here, because you guys would have saw, and all of these games we would have been at, Tarp would have been crazy. He'd have been acting like he was playing.
Yeah, Sean, I want you to do a compare and contrast your national championship team in 1989 to this team. What are the similarities and what are the differences?
Well, they played for each other as we did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
they play for each other. They have a three-headed monster in the paint like we did.
Yeah.
They shoot the ball pretty good from three like we did. That's about it, man. It's hard to compare us to this team, man, other than those points I just made, because it's a different game now.
That's true. It's probably not a fair comparison. It's apples and oranges. Yeah. Because you had a more traditional offense. You had a more traditional point guard, Ramil Robinson, where it started with him, and he was a primary ball handler, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Ramil handled the ball majority of the time. But Frieder and Fisher, they allow, if I got a rebound, he allowed me to push it.
Good.
And so, but Ramil was a traditional point guard, as Cadeau. So yeah, we have some similarities with this team, man. It's just, like I said, it's this different game now, so it's hard to compare a team from 35 years ago, to this modern era. But I see the similarities definitely in terms of their camaraderie.
Yeah. Well, as Rich says, defensive travels. And, Rich, you've been marveling about the defensive part of this team. On Big Ten Network, they're talking about this is one of the greatest defensive teams of all time.
I say this, Tom, like I said to some friends before. If they win the national championship this year, it will be the greatest team in Michigan's history.
Wait a minute now.
Hold on. I got to tell you. Hold on. Listen to me, son. Listen to me. You want to know why? Because as big as they are, did you guys win like 17, 18 in a row?
Okay, no disrespect, man. We done busted their ass.
But listen. You better say that.
I believe it wholeheartedly. I'm not just saying it.
You better, because I believe.
And we'd have whooped the Fab Five's ass too.
I talked to Cass.
No, we would have whooped their ass too.
Oh yeah, no, the Fab Five, we would have beat them easy.
Y'all would have beat the hell out of them.
Yeah, we'd have beat them easy. I talked to Cassie Russell, and Cass, he loves this team because they're so big.
But now let me say this though. I love the Fab Five.
Oh no, come on now.
I love the Fab Five, but you know how brothers do. We talk smack.
Yo, listen. I always tell somebody, Sean. You know what? If we would have played the Fab Five, we'd have beat them by 15 to 20.
No,
because
Fab Five, they were tough, man.
They were tough.
The reason why I say we'd have beat the Fab Five.
The Fab Five was a great defensive team.
Yes, they were.
The only reason why I say we would have beat them like that because they were young. We were young.
Older. That's why we would have beat them by 20.
Yeah, they were young.
They were young.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and I always talked to Jawan about this. I always thought this was funny because I used to always tell Jawan, I wish we could have played y'all. I wish our year could have played Jawan them. And but they were young. And
You want me to tell you the reason why y'all would have beat them?
Why?
Butch Wade.
See, listen, Tom. No, I'm with you.
Butch Wade.
Sean, I was gonna say that would have been the difference.
That would have been the difference.
Butch Wade would have been the difference. Because they ain't had nobody like Butch. Butch gonna knock y'all out.
Let me tell you something. I took a picture with Butch at the alumni deal, man. He's still strong as hell.
You know, it's like, hey, Sean,
I said, Butch, how old are you? Butch still strong as hell.
Dude, he still push you around, too. He always like to bump me every time I see him.
Every time.
I said, come on, man, that hurt.
I remember hey, Rich, we had Carlton Valentine on here with Larry Pollock. And Sean, Carlton Valentine, all he talked about was how Butch Wade beat the shit out of him every freaking time. I mean,
listen, Sean, I told everybody, Sean, when we wanted to get a shot off, go on Butch screen because Butch gonna get you free.
So I asked Glenn about you though, Rich. He said, man, that Richard Rellford, I got up to Michigan, he was strong as an ox. He said he dunked on me one time my freshman year, man. It felt like he took me up to the rim with him.
Listen, but we made them better, man. That's what the job is. You know what? I always felt like the young guys that came in, Mark Hughes, Lloyd Vault, if we didn't make them better, then we don't have no tradition.
That's
right. We have tradition.
That's your job.
That's our job is to make them better. I always go back to what my brother would say to me. When people would say to my brother, yo, Rich is better than you. And my brother said, I trained him to be better.
Right.
He's supposed to be better.
Right.
And that's what we wanted with Glenn now. Because Lloyd Vault, let me tell you, we ain't take it easy. Like you said, Butch brutalized those boys. I ain't gonna lie to you.
But see, that's the reason why I came back home and went to Michigan, man. Because not only was I from Michigan, I want even to be being from Michigan, the personnel that Michigan had. I knew I was going to get challenged every day in practice. In high school, I dominated my high school teammates every day in practice.
Right.
I knew when I got up there, guys like Glenn Rice, T. Mills, Lloyd, Gary was a senior. These guys, our practices were harder than the games.
Yes. I try to tell people
that's what got me better, playing guarding Rice every day.
Listen, those back-to-back championships came because we all hung out together in the summer times.
Right.
My junior, senior year, everybody stayed in Ann Arbor. We all went home for like a week, but all of us stayed in Ann Arbor and we played every day.
We did too. I never went home in the summer.
Right. See, I only went home for a week because I couldn't get the same kind of run at home that I did in school.
Right.
Because, we got UD guys coming. We got Eastern guys coming. Right. And so for us, playing every day was it, man. That's what I'm saying now. It's different because you didn't have to ask us to come to the gym. We already there. We just need somebody to open it up for us because we're going to be there. And so
you what I like about Yaxter, man, back to Lindenberg? A thing I like about him too, man, he lifts his brothers up. He lays a hand down, he pulls his brothers up.
He does. And all he does is pray. This team, Sean,